Welcome to the Eddy Live Show, and I've got my man Jay Tyler, entrepreneur in Shindian. How you doing, brother?
I'm all right, and you?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Let me get rid of that logo so I can see your face. There we go. All right. So, man, you were saying you had a pretty busy day today, huh?
Yeah, we had a busy morning. We put out an ad for some special foods and got a lot of responses for it, and we're actually sold out already. We had prepared for the end of Sunday. We were supposed to be selling lasagnas. You know,
I saw. That's
uh,
actually one of my questions, man. I saw your ad for the lasagnas. You did a Facebook ad with that? Yeah?
Yeah, we very rarely do the social media stuff. For some reason,
Yeah.
I've just never really embraced that. But now,
Okay.
with the way COVID is happening, we don't wandering around and coming into our shops like it used to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have to reach out a little more and put a normal little ad that anybody could figure out. You know, I'm not very good with all the Facebook and Instagram stuff. I don't do any of that. So I just take some pictures, ask my wife to make a quick ad, and we usually get a nice response from our little customers. I really appreciate that.
Actually, yeah, I think in Taiwan, especially, Facebook is amazing. I mean, I see a lot of people saying, hey, you know, advertise with my website or do the magazine or do this or do that. But I think the best return is always Facebook, at least in my experience in Taiwan. Yeah.
I have to agree. And every time we do an ad, which we so very rarely do, there's always an immediate response. And I'm always left wondering, why don't we do this more often? And then we go back into complacency and then just do it the normal way for a while. But it's fun. And then it's just a madhouse for a while. Every time we do a little something different or special out of our shop, we always have a good response. And it makes it fun for I think it's fun for the staff to have more going on than just the regular things that we do normally each day.
I think I agree 100%, man. I actually have, I've done the Facebook things. Like, for example, last month, I think, or a few weeks ago, we did tamales, right? And whenever we do those, it's a big response. But this time, we did so many. I mean, our staff was just like, oh my gosh, we have to make more. I'm like, yeah, we got to keep going. Slow month. We got to go. We did like, I think we did like 600 or something tamales, man. It was crazy. It was a crazy one.
That's great.
Yeah. And it's all handmade and stuff. So it's good. It's good. I think for Facebook in Taiwan, I think it's always really good. And I always feel bad when there's other companies. They're like, hey, you know, we should advertise with us. And I'm like, I could put like 500 NT on Facebook and reach 10,000 people in Tianmu. You know, it's like, it's tough. It's a tough thing to compete with, man.
Yeah, it is. As much as I would just say I dislike Facebook, it's a necessary tool. And I mean, as far as business, it's necessary. And for personal stuff, yeah, it has its value too. But I just try not to spend too much time on it if I don't need to anymore, because I do catch myself getting wrapped up in it. And then I look up, my son's just looking at me, and I have no idea how long he's been looking at me. I don't want that going on too much. You know, I don't want him to have too much of those memories of his dad's just staring at his phone.
Yeah, dude, I agree, man. I got 100%. Same thing here. I mean, I also catch myself, you know, responding to customers or checking messages or checking how many likes the post got and blah, 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 stuff like that. So definitely it's a slippery slope for sure, bro.
Yeah, I got to do it. And I have to explain to my son sometimes, hey, your daddy's working. You know, he's actually, you know, I don't have any games on my phone, none of that stuff. So if I'm picking it up, usually it's trying to get something done or responding, like you said, to a customer or something.
Yeah, I think I actually didn't have any games before until my daughter, you know, would get my phone and she figured out how to actually put games on there. So sometimes I'll be like, what the hell? I got like 20 games on my phone now. And then I'll just wipe the whole phone. And then, you know, the next time she gets the phone, there's 5 games on it and stuff. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, I don't know what's on my wife's phone, but I know my son has Pokemon on there. So.
Yeah. Oh, really? Well, Pokemon, I mean, that's pretty fun, right? Hold on. Let me switch these over. Okay.
It's a little different style of game. I guess it's not too bad, you know. It encourages them to go out. They used to. Now they have special events inside, it seems like. Inside your own home, they have time periods where those little monsters pop up.
Yeah. I mean, I think I never actually tried Go because so when I had my daughter, I sold all the video games. I'm like, okay, she was born. I sold the PlayStation and all the old retro systems and all that stuff that I had. I got rid of everything. And then I think maybe when my daughter was 5, I went home. We brought her home to meet my family. Well, she went when she was 2, but she didn't remember. So when she was 5, we went home and my nephews were just all about Switch, right? So they're playing Switch. And so my daughter just played a whole bunch of Switch all summer with my nephews, right? And since then, she's just like, she loves video games, and I have to like, take them away and like reward her with video games. And, that's like her favorite thing. Sometimes I'll catch her waking up early and then sneaking over to the computer and then, putting her headset on and getting the Roblox going. I'll kind of check her room. I'm like, where is she? And then I'll just start to listen, and I'll hear the clicking of the keyboard. It's crazy.
Yep, I've got my son doing that too. Saturday and Sunday is the day he's allowed to wake up and do basically whatever he wants.
Nice.
So he'll wake up especially early on those days and when our life is normal. Of course, life hasn't been normal for quite a few months now, but when he had his regular school schedule, the weekends were precious to him. He'd wake up. He wouldn't even, this is a way we got our extra sleep in too. Otherwise, we'd be up at 6 with him. He's allowed from the time he wakes up until one of us wakes up to pretty much play his video games or watch a little Netflix.
Is he an early sleeper, early riser? Your boy?
He likes to stay up late. My wife and him have gone on some all-night fishing sessions already this summer.
Nice. Okay. And he's cool. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he loves that. He'll stay up all night long if you let him, but usually he goes to bed at decent time, and then he gets up way too early.
Okay. That's funny. My daughter actually, she also goes to bed late, and in the summer, I mean, we're all going to bed late. Like we'll watch a movie at like 10 p.m. till midnight, and then she'll go to bed. But she, if no one bothers her, she'll sleep till 12. She'll go like 12 hours just out. But if she wakes up and she'll kind of see nobody's around, she'll kind of like really, really carefully and quietly sneak out and then go over to the computer and start playing video games. It's crazy.
Yeah. Makes me remember when I was a kid and the stuff I tried to get away with. But
exactly.
My son can stay up late. We went to that fish market in Geelong.
That's right.
And that was the middle of the night. He's the one who wanted to go.
Yeah. Oh, tell me about that, man, because I've heard about these fish markets, and I've never actually been to one. So how did you get hooked up with this, man? I mean, in Geelong, there's a fish market. Tell us about it, man, please.
I'm actually surprised you haven't been to this because this is one of the main things that when people come to visit me from overseas that don't have much experience in Asia or Southeast Asia, anywhere really different from the U.S. where I grew up, taking them to a place like the Geelong fish market is just nuts. It's mind-blowing, really. It's not even that huge of a fish market, but it's just so crazy, the action, and there's everything that they can drag out of the sea around Taiwan or get shipped here, apparently, as fresh as they can. It's available there.
That's great,
and
man.
It starts at 1 a.m, and that's, people are trickling out, putting their stalls up, but it's in full action by like 3:30 in the morning, and that's when we usually end up being there or leaving.
When I see that, I saw your pictures. The first thing I think is you got to live stream a video, man. I was interviewing. What was I doing? Okay, last week I did a sort of an entrepreneur interview group thing. I got interviewed, and they were telling me about this one Taiwanese guy who does a hot pot, right? So of course, hot pot business is really bad right now. So what he does is he goes to the market with his cell phone and he live streams that with his cell phone, right? And he has customers talking to him. And he's like, hey, what do you guys think of this? And the customer will be like, hey, I want a lobster. Oh, hey, I want one of these. Hey, I want one of these. So he picks up all this stuff. Of course, he's going to put a little bit of money on top of it, and he's going to bring it to his shop, and his customers come to his shop and pick up fresh fish.
What do you think awesome. of that? That's a way to capitalize on his time.
Yeah. What do you think about that? That when I heard that, I seen it once. And I was like, I think that's what he's doing. And then when I was talking on this chat, they told me, there's this one Taiwanese guy who goes to the market. He live streams, and customers go there. They buy him a bunch of like fish and seafood from this guy. So I thought, wow, that's a really cool idea.
Yeah, that would be very good. I don't know how patient I guess you call them the fishmongers or whatever would be with me doing something like that, though. That place is so hectic that nobody wants their time wasted there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, this is a place where it's packed with people. I showed you the pictures. It's like one of the few places in Taiwan you can go right now where people are still like rubbing shoulder to shoulder and not giving a shit, basically. It's still now. Wow. Okay. Yeah, and so we had to wear our face shields and our mask and gloves to go in there, the government, it's a government mandate.
You got to do that QR code thing, yeah?
The QR code thing, but you actually have to wear gloves, face shield, and of course your mask. And then once you get in there, it's just a madhouse. And then it's a place where my son has been since he can remember. He's gone there frequently, but you have to be very cautious. You're walking down, and then the fish trucks or those 3-wheel trikes, there's all over the place, and they don't stop. They just keep nudging down, and they hit you to get out of the way. They just nudge you. They just
get a little push.
Put it in first gear and roll down the street, and just kind of nudge everybody out of the way all night long. It's pretty insane. It's a different world than the markets that we're used to. I would love to take you there sometime because I think you'd really enjoy it. Your whole family would. I'm sure your wife has gone to something like that before, though.
You know what, man? I've seen people talk about those, and I've been to lots of obviously places all over Taiwan. I've been here a long time, but I've never actually been to one of those markets, man. So we got to do it next time. Yeah, bring the whole family.
That's the big one. Yeah, it's actually despite the hour that it takes place, it's actually a pretty fun family activity. The food's good. There's lots of people selling food there.
Is there like sashimi and stuff? There's usually at those kind of places. Yeah.
That's actually funny too. When we got there, the first thing my wife did was line up to buy the sashimi. And it was 1 o'clock. So it's kind of still a reasonable time for people to go get their late night snacks, right? So there was quite a lineup.
Really? Wow.
I said, why don't we just go look at the market first, and then on the way back get the sashimi, because we weren't going to eat it anyway. And she said, no, I want to wait. You know, the Taiwanese had no problem with waiting, apparently.
Yeah, man. The crazy thing is when I had a stand in a night market, when there's a lineup, man, that's when you're busy. I mean, a lot of people used to pay students to just kind of stand there in a line, because whenever there's like a crowd or a lineup, all the Taiwanese people, they come in and they're just kind of like, ooh, there's a lineup here, must be good, I better line up. And then sometimes they don't even know what they're lining up for, but they're like, hey, there's a lineup, it's got to be good.
No, that's absolutely true. I actually have seen somebody I know lined up in a Gongguan stall before at that Shuiyuan or whatever that night market by the Gongguan. And it was one of our customers from Xindian, and I stopped and said, "Hey, how you doing?" And I actually said, "What are you waiting in line for?" And she said, "I don't know."
Secret surprise lunch. Surprise lunch.
I don't know. And she just said everybody's lined up. So I just looked around. I walked to the front, and it was just sweet potato balls. She was waiting in line for sweet potato balls, but she thought part of the fun of buying whatever it was going to be is just waiting in line. And that's what my wife said to me too for the sashimi too. Is it'll taste better because I waited in line.
Yeah, because you got that anticipation of that. Yeah. So when I think of those markets, I think of like, you know, they get it and then they cut it on the spot, right? Like on the movies. Yeah. So I've actually always wanted to go, and I've heard about that one, but I could never really find any info on it online or anything. Of course, I didn't look that hard, but I mean, I lived in Danshui for so long, and eventually I'm like, I'll figure it out eventually, and I never did.
Yeah.
Now I got you though. Yeah.
So yeah, things are going along all right. This is my first time doing a podcast. Actually, it's pretty interesting. I see there's messages popping up here too.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, let me just check those out. Yeah. Oh, you bring me some pizza. Can we dine in yet? This mayor's pissing me off. What you drinking, William? All right. So actually, I was gonna say that, but this is what I'm drinking right now. Bam! Check that out.
That's funny. I have one of those too.
Is that what you're drinking? Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me pull that up real quick. Boom, boom, boom. Check that out. Blam. So this is actually, I mean, Hong Mao Kombucha, right? Yeah. Obviously, you can present it better than I do. So maybe let's talk about this since they're asking about what we're drinking.
Yeah.
The kombucha.
My wife designed this label.
Okay.
Just to give a quick background on the name, Hong Mao.
Please do.
Some people. So it's basically an orangutan, but kind of worked into the 3-leaf of a tea design.
Oh, okay.
The 3-leaf of a tea, the way the tea grows. But the name itself has a double meaning.
Okay.
Kombucha seems like it's a newer thing to most people. They might
for
not
sure.
How it's produced and all that, but it's a fermented tea, and it's actually quite good for your body and all that. But in the process of it being fermented, it produced yeasts and yeast strands and stuff that look sort of like the way seaweed maybe floats in the water, but it's reddish because you use black tea to make it. So it looks kind of like reddish fur inside of the fermentation vessel. So
Okay.
it's a kind of referring to that. But another thing is kind of making fun of ourselves as foreigners doing business in Taiwan, because I was told a while ago, the generation older than me, that used to be a derogatory term to refer to foreigners here, whiter foreigners that came, to call them Hong Mao. And I guess there's a whole bunch of different derogatory terms. We've all heard of the what's the one about the name, the nose.
Oh, the big nose one. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
the big
can't,
nose.
I can't remember. Yeah. I can't remember, but there's a few. Yeah, for sure.
So the older generation will definitely know that as a slur, but the younger generation hopefully can kind of laugh along with us and think of it more as a funnier, hopefully, and lighthearted, laughing at ourselves, but also a good reference to the actual process of the brewing of kombucha itself. It's directly related to how it's produced. So we thought it was clever. I don't know if anybody else thinks it's clever, but my wife and I thought it was pretty clever, and my aunt also helped us with this project. And now we're just concentrating on trying to be as consistent as we can. You've seen some of our struggles on making sure consistency is there, because once you're trying to increase production, it gets pretty hard. We've got a lot of people that have been very, very good to us and wanted to have it in their shops or have it in their. I mean, we have a lady that's coming buying 6 liters each week for her personal consumption at home, which is quite a bit.
Wow, that's a lot. Yeah. Wow, nice. That's fantastic.
Well, I don't mean overall it's quite a bit. I just mean it's quite a bit for one person to drink, because this drink, you actually should limit your intake a little bit. It will aid in digestion and all that stuff, but if you do overdo it and your body isn't ready for it, or you're not used to it, you can kind of maybe throw some of your body's systems out of whack a little bit. If you're just going from nothing up to a lot each day, which is what this lady had done at the beginning, but she's apparently worked up to handling 1 liter a day, no problem. So,
wow. I mean, for me, when we started, I was probably doing 1 or 2 with like each meal, and then I was feeling good, but I could definitely feel the body was kind of like, what's going on here? My tongue was just acting like. And obviously my tongue was bugging out, right? So my tongue's bugging out, and I'm like, oh shit. Oh, I'm losing taste buds. Oh shit. I got COVID. Oh, I didn't get vaccinated yet. Like, oh, you know what I mean? It's just like, then you get that, you start Googling it, and then it's just like, oh no, this is COVID. Oh no, this is tongue cancer. Oh no, this is, and then I cut back, and I was just started, being really light on everything. And I'm like, it's good. So this is my first one in I think maybe 4 or 5 days. It's delicious, man. I love it. I'll never stop drinking it, but yeah, a few liters a day is probably not the smartest thing I did. I love it because I drink water, right? I usually drink water with every meal. I don't really drink sodas unless it's like a special occasion or something like that. But this is the best of both worlds. And for it to actually be healthy, it's fizzy. It's got that really nice tangy flavor. I love sour, right? So I really like the passion fruit flavor. It's fantastic, man. I love it. And I'm drinking it. Thank you for that. You still there, bro, or what? Yeah. Hold up. You bugging out here. All right. So I think we lost him, but all right. That's okay. We'll wait for him to jump back on. So yeah, for those of you guys who do not know, there's a link in the description for Hong Mao Kombucha. If you guys want to get some for your restaurant, for your bar, or for personal use, I definitely recommend this stuff right here. Yeah, it's pretty good. I love it. Hold on one sec, everybody. Hey, what's up? That's cool. Just jump on, hit that link and jump back on, man. I'll keep going. Yeah. Yep. All right. He's good. He's just, he had little technical difficulties, but we're good. Yeah. So like I was saying, I met Jay a little while ago. He has a pizza place down in Shindian. Let me get that. Okay. Called the Shack. And it's fantastic. So what he's doing right now is he's doing the Shack. He's doing Hong Mao Kombucha. And he's doing a local craft beer brewery called Tilted Shack Brewery, and it's pretty fantastic. Yeah. So if you guys are fans of things like hazy IPAs, light pale ales, stuff like that, definitely have to check out. Oh, well, let me pull their logo up real quick. Blam. So check out Tilted Shack Brewing. Him and another friend of mine called Brian Scanlon. They're doing this. They started it out of Shindian. It's fantastic. Yeah, I'd have to recommend the Juicy Tango IPA. It's very, very good. Yeah, guys, appreciate it. So yeah, let me talk real quick about the kombucha. There we go, kombucha. Let me take a little swig of that. Good stuff. So the kombucha, if you have any questions about that, just jump on and let Jay know about the kombucha, because it is apparently a tea that's fermented and it's naturally producing probiotics. Like, don't quote me, but that's what I'm pretty sure. And it's good. It's pretty good stuff. I've been drinking a lot of it. I drank a little bit too much because that's how good it is, and it threw my system out of whack a tiny bit. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. Yeah. If anybody is on right now watching on my personal page or on my Eddy's Cantina page or on the Eddy Live Facebook page, if you're watching on any of those pages right now, please do me a favor and go over here. Where is it at? Boom. Go right here and please click on that link. If you're going to watch the show, please, I appreciate you watching it on any channel, but please watch it on this channel. And if you have any comments, please add them here, because what happens if you do it on YouTube, YouTube will think it's a good channel, which I hope it is. And I hope that those of you that are watching think it is as well. YouTube will show us that, they'll start to show it to more people, which is really cool. Yeah. We got somebody here. Blam. Thanks, brother. I want to send it. Hold on. Let me pull this up real quick here. Grant Lamb, keep up the good content. I appreciate it, brother. Thanks so much. Hey. We're back.
I'm sorry. My computer decided to update at that moment for some reason.
No problem, bro. No problem. I was just telling people about the kombucha, man. The kombucha.
Yeah,
it's good stuff. So it's tea, right? I was saying, I was just mentioning to you while we cut off earlier, I was drinking a whole bunch of it. It was great. Threw me off for a little bit, and I stopped for about a week, and I'm back on it. It's delicious, man. I love it. Maybe you could tell a little bit of the process of how to make kombucha, if that's all right, because you're making it yourself, right? You guys are doing your thing.
Yeah, we've been brewing it for a while. I've done it with friends before. We've had some of our customers in the past that have been bringing it through the years. That it's been around in the foreigner community that I know of the foreigners for a while, and lots of people have their own versions. And once you begin doing it, you can kind of just do it in perpetuity. It will constantly regrow, but the process of making it is pretty simple. It's just a fermented tea. So you have to brew your teas, use good loose leaf, whole leaf teas if you can. Find the best products you can. And the best thing you should always do when you do something like this that's fermented is find products that are not touched with pesticides and all that.
Okay.
Which is tough. But the less the product has been adulterated, then the better product you can have in the end. So basically, just brew your tea. You sweeten it with some very simple sugar. You don't need to have anything crazy there.
Okay.
And then you have your starter and your SCOBY, which can contribute to the process. And you just let it begin in a bigger vessel.
Okay.
And let it breathe. It's an open fermentation, and then it will just do its magic on its own, basically. As simple as I can put it. You basically just combine old kombucha, is the best way I can put it, with a fresh tea that's been sweetened, and it will it'll create more kombucha, and it will just grow and grow, and it will produce more SCOBYs, which is the thing you see floating on top of those inside the bottles. There's tiny little SCOBYs often because it's not been pasteurized, it's not been filtered to that extent where it'll take out all the yeast. So if there's yeast in there, it'll just propagate a new SCOBY in each vessel. So it just takes time. It takes a minimum of, I'd say, 20 to 25 days for each batch to be fully ready.
I think the SCOBY is the interesting thing. I mean, I always hear people talking different things about SCOBY. Maybe what is that? What is SCOBY? I mean, I know it's the stuff that's floating in there, but I mean, where do you get it? I mean, how is it made? Do you know about that sort of the SCOBY stuff, or have you had like a special like a special? I don't know. Have you made your SCOBY specially, or did you get it from somewhere special, or what's the process for that?
Form during the fermentation process.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And it forms on its own. So actually in the bottle that you have, each one of those little tiny SCOBYs that grow in there.
Yeah.
If you use that bottle, it's about a little over about a cup and a half of kombucha you got in a beer bottle size.
Okay. Yeah.
You can combine that with about
right here
2 liters
boom.
of 2 liters. You can brew some tea, sweeten it with some sugar, add that bottle to it, and give it about 2 weeks. It'll grow a SCOBY on top.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. And so the SCOBY is edible. It's healthy. Yes. I mean, because I just down it. Right. Okay.
Yeah, you can drink it, of course. But in the actual production of the kombucha, the bigger vessels, you'll get a sometimes this, several centimeter thick one.
Okay.
And
yeah.
It doesn't have any flavor. It's just cellulose, so it's actually not really digestible, really.
Okay.
Some people just make gummies with it. You can blend it up with some fruits and then dry them, dehydrate them. There's things you can use them for, but there's really no reason to keep it. A lot of people just compost it. It's just a natural byproduct of the production of kombucha. It's neither harmful nor really beneficial in reality. It's just a thing, an inert thing. Yeah.
So when you're finishing off your process, I noticed that you have quite a few flavors of kombucha, right? You got passion fruit, mulberry, strawberry. So I would imagine at some point you're adding the flavor. So when are you adding that?
Okay, so as simple as it can be is you can have the first fermentation for the kombucha, and you have the sweet tea, and it turns into kombucha after about 14 days or so. Some people do a shorter 7-day period. It depends on what kind of teas and how what kind of temperatures you're keeping it at. But at the end of that, it's actually kombucha, and some people like to drink it that way. But that's an open fermentation, so you're not going to really have too much of the fizziness or the bubbles or the CO2 or the soda-like feel to it at that point. So what you can do at that point is, if you want to have basically a non-alcoholic kombucha, is you just add some fruit purees or fresh fruits or anything like that that's sugary, that's a fruit, and then you put it into another vessel after it's been slightly filtered. You want to remove like the large yeast and SCOBY from it. And then you just add some fruit, and then you put it in a closed vessel, and then let it do a second fermentation. It doesn't need oxygen really at that point, and it'll produce CO2. It'll eat the sugars of the fruits and produce CO2, and they'll be carbonated at that point. And that's when you get the nice fruit flavors, and that's how you achieve it. You can go another route and actually turn it into an alcohol if you want. You can add some more different strains of yeast and some additional sugars and fruit if you want, and it'll turn into an alcoholic drink. But what we produce is non-alcoholic.
Have you experimented with that? I'm curious about that, because I would imagine, when people think alcohol, I mean, that means you would be able to sell it for a higher price, right? I mean, have you guys experimented with stuff like that?
Well,
I mean, I have no idea. I'm just out of curiosity. Yeah.
We have, and I still am, but I'm not going to pursue too much of that because I already have way too much going on with alcohol as it is. It's nice to have this to fall back on and saying this is absolutely a healthy drink. If we really want to have it be part of an alcohol lineup, we can do it with mixed drinks. It's actually a nice thing to make mixed drinks with.
That'd fantastic. Yeah.
But my son enjoys drinking it, and I don't really want to have to start remembering which ones are alcoholic, which ones are non-alcoholic, and then, because as you see, we just have one basic label for the whole product, and then we put special stickers on top that tell you what the actual content.
Right. You actually got a new label here with your Shack logo on there, right? Which is pretty cool, man.
That's the one my wife produced.
How's the reaction for? I mean, you were saying it's quite a big thing in with the foreigners, right? I mean, I have heard about it for a long time. I didn't know that much about it, and I don't think I've ever tried it until you brought it. But how are the locals responding to it? I would guess it because it's made with tea, they must love it. But I mean, I love tea. I don't really taste tea when I'm drinking this. It's very different. Yeah.
It shouldn't taste like tea really at all.
Okay. I don't get any tea flavor.
Tea. Yeah. That's because it's turned into a completely new thing. It's turned after the end of the fermentation process. It's really not tea the way we think of tea anymore. It's its own thing, which is kombucha. It's a standalone drink. I guess similar to the way you think maybe apple cider vinegar is clearly vinegar at that point. It's just a whole different product. You know, you have like, and you don't have to add more apple flavored apple cider vinegar because it already has apple. But if it was just a vinegar, like what is white vinegar even made from? Is that from potatoes or what? I mean, it doesn't taste like potatoes anymore.
I don't even know, to be honest.
Yeah,
I use a lot of it. I use a lot of it, but I don't know. I actually don't know what it's made out of, man. I have no clue.
So I guess I compare it to something like that. The process where you create a whole new product from it, and it doesn't taste like the original ingredient anymore.
Yeah, because I didn't know it was made from tea, man. To be honest, I love tea. I drink a lot of tea. We don't drink a lot of sodas or anything, so we drink a lot of tea. Drink a lot of water, and now we're drinking kombucha, man. It's good stuff. I love it.
Yeah. So the process, the caffeine and the sugars are quite low as well.
Okay. And are the locals? How are the locals liking the flavor?
Yeah, let me answer that question.
Yeah.
This all started because of locals. You know, our shops that we have cater obviously to anybody, but
of course
we're surviving, or not surviving, but we've done well because of the locals that have been patrons for years, and we have a very dedicated, loyal following of people that are Taiwanese, and they have Taiwanese taste. You know, and luckily we haven't had to cater too much to their taste. We've been able to do stuff we want. But once we started offering kombucha consistently, I'll just go back to the beginning. At the very beginning, we were giving it away. We were just giving it away to anybody that might be interested in saying, here's this new thing. And it wasn't that great either. We were giving it out of flip-top bottles. They were losing its carbonation very quickly. We were just kind of letting people try the product because I wanted to drink it. I enjoyed it myself.
Yeah.
I feel like it was doing something good for my body, especially to counteract the amount of, since we have the beer business as well, the hours we work and the alcohol that's being that's being consumed. This was definitely helping. So I was offering it to a lot of our customers, and then people come back wanting it. So of course they were happy to pay for it. So we turned it into something that was available on the menu, but it wasn't very expensive because we still weren't too professional with it. You know, just trying to make sure we weren't losing money, just hit break even.
Yeah.
But then we were able to up our production and up the quality and be more consistent, and we were able to offer it in our shops in a more professional way. And the Taiwanese started saying they want to take some home too, or is there a better way to buy it and get more? And we had these groups that groups of moms from my kids' school, or groups of our friends, or some of our exercise groups, or like this, that want to buy in bulk all the time because it's part of their lifestyle now.
That's
fantastic.
These are all
Taiwanese people.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
They're the ones that have asked for it, and they call up and ask before they come, make sure they have it. And it has its own crowd. You know, we used to be very happy that. Sorry, I know I'm going on, but we used to be
no, it's great. That's what this is for, bro. Keep going. Yeah.
Well, the pizza we started as a pizza shop, and then Brian and I started doing the beer and stuff like that. And the beer got its own customers. And people coming for the beer over the pizza sometimes. And now we have people coming for the kombucha itself. You know, it happens quite often now, and we really appreciate that. So it's it's obviously we want everything to work together, but each product we produce has its own customers, and it's very exciting to see how great the Taiwanese crowd is, and accepting like our hard work and wanting to be customers of ours. It's very rewarding.
So long story short, Taiwanese so far they love it. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had I haven't heard anything personally about anybody not loving it, but we've had enough people come back very happy and wanting more, and you know that it's become very exciting to keep pursuing this. You know, just even last night, that lady came all the way from she lives near Sunyat-san or something. She came all the way up to Xindian to get her weekly 6 liters, and made her husband leave the house in a rainstorm to come get it on the scooter. You know.
But it's raining, honey. But it's raining. Yeah. Go get that kombucha right now, man. Go get it.
So we gave her some chicken wings,
pretty much,
to make it a little sweeter, because
for sure.
Seeing somebody arrive half an hour scooter ride to come pick up something that we made. You know, it's always a little humbling feeling.
It's got to feel pretty good, man. Yeah. So let's touch really quickly on this, man, on the Tilted Shack. So we'll brewing the kombucha and then brewing beer. Obviously, it's a different process, but is there anything that sort of carries over from one to the other? Like you guys did beer. You did beer first, right? Sorry.
Yeah, we did beer first for years.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a great question. Actually, I think I have a serious advantage doing the beer first to go to kombucha, because brewing beer and having anything to do with the beer industry is really, 100% about cleanliness.
Okay.
Everything is sanitized to the max, often several times throughout the process. And the nice thing about kombucha is it's very forgiving because you actually want a lot of natural yeast and things like that existing around.
Okay.
And it's a lot. It's not saying it's like a messier process, but it's a lot more forgiving. Okay. Beer, you can really mess that up. And so
I've had some beers where companies have been giving me samples. They're like, "Hey, we're a new brewery. Here's samples of my beer," and I put it in the fridge for a week or so, and then I'd crack it open and it'd be like, "Oh, yeah, what happened to this?"
When something's wrong with beer, you'll know it, and
instantly, first sip,
and then that's a lot of money to waste or lose and all that. But kombucha, we're doing small batches. About 30 liters a day is our maximum amount right now.
Okay.
And it's fun because first of all, I like to brew, but brewing beer takes so long. Brewing beer takes usually you set aside like half a day minimum to do it.
Okay.
And I just don't have these half a day to full day chunks all the time. But with kombucha, you can do other things and then work on it through the day and do it almost every day at this point.
So you can multitask the kombucha as opposed to booking half a day off in a block and then saying, "Hey, I got to do beer."
Yeah, beer usually is set aside a time, and then usually it's supposed to be fun. So you also are kind of maybe imbibing as you're doing it or something. But the kombucha is part of my daily schedule now. I just get part of what I need to get done for each day doing it, and then move on to other stuff. And it's just part of my routines. It's fun to do, I think, much more stress-free than all the alcohol and beer business has been to date. Now we're so lucky we get to work with Red Point for the majority of our big production, and they take a lot of the stress off of us when we.
Shout out to the Red Point guys, man.
They're so professional. They get so much done for us, and there's no way I can ever think about going back to how hard. I mean, thank you to them for doing all the hard work now, because the production of beer is an insanely hard job.
I think Red Point were kind of one of the first, if not the first. I think there was a couple other small ones before, but they were kind of the first ones to kind of pioneer it and go kind of big, right? Like they went big, they built their own brewery.
Absolutely.
They got investors, and they did it right. They got everything going, and it's kind of like the big guys on the block, really. Aside from maybe Taihu, which I mean that's kind of a different thing, right?
Yeah, I haven't been to Taihu's production facility, but Red Point's is as clean as you can get. It's nice size. They can really get a lot of alcohol out, and their process is perfect. We've never had any question about any quality or anything coming out of there from the time. I mean, it was a process for us to get to their level because they can really produce a lot of alcohol. And,
of course.
We worked hard to get there, though, because we wanted to work at their facility. It's just as professional as you can get, and they're doing it right. And hopefully, after this COVID thing, everything gets better for all of us, because it's been a pretty big hit, I think, for everybody to have to just put things on hold for a while indefinitely.
Yeah, I mean, I think, for example, for us, beer-wise, I mean, we haven't really ordered beer. I mean, usually we order beer every week. Like we have 7 taps, and there's always at least 1 or 2 kegs kicking during the week, right? So we're like, I'll call you guys up, or I'll call Red Point up, or one of the other guys, right? Jack or somebody, right? But Jim and Dad's as well. Shout out to them. I actually haven't ordered beer in probably like almost 3 months. It's crazy. That's how shit business is. It's pretty bad, man. Yeah.
I don't think anybody's got anything to brag about on the beer end right now. Some people had to. I mean, it's a bad time to have to release a new product to get a little steam behind it, but it's tough. We just have to all find creative ways to get it into our customers. Get it into their hands. Maybe try to work out some situations where people can have little keg machines in their home or all this. I mean, a lot of the stuff you see being advertised right now is all straight to your house situation. There's really no other situation that can happen right now. So a lot of people have gotten real clever with how they do it. But in the end, we still all need to go back to the old way of going out, having a meal, having a few beers. That's the model that's going to see success for everybody trying to go further in the brewing industry.
Actually, I lied. I did buy from Raul from Raoul Crafted. He launched his Flying Fox.
Yeah.
He's been planning it for a long time. Then we were talking about how are you going to launch it during COVID, and then I think he was the first one that came up with the idea of the one-way growler. And he brought the keg, and he brought all these one-way growlers, which are just bottles, basically plastic bottles that are kind of, you can reuse them or they're disposable. And so he brought a bunch of those in, and fans of Eddy's Canteen and fans of Raoul and Crafted, they actually came in and that's really, I mean, right now we've got the Hop Drop. We've got Hop Drop is, I mean, everything, when I say it's selling slowly, but it's still selling. So we got the Hop Drop on, we got Raoul's Hazy on, and we've got Red Point's Long Dong on. And sometimes people come and they'll buy a couple of glasses and just walk around just to really support us, or they'll take the one-way growlers. And I think that was a really good idea. I mean, that was the only time I seen anything like that. And that actually worked really well at the beginning. And now I see a lot of people on Facebook and stuff that are they're doing the same thing, because you gotta move that beer, right?
Yeah, it's not made to just sit in a warehouse. We have a new warehouse that's pretty much filled to the brim right now. We had up production, and we actually still have beer sitting in fermenters in some of the breweries that we're working with that we don't even really have room to put it right now because our warehouse is just filled.
Is it okay for them to sit? They're sealed. The kegs are all sealed and stuff.
Yeah,
they can sit forever.
For long.
Yeah. I mean, just out of curiosity, yeah, for sure.
It can last at least a year is fine. But
yeah.
That's not.
That'll be gone. Yeah.
Yeah, we are. Our goals usually with each batch that we brew is try to get it out to the public and consumed within hopefully 3 months.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah. You can really tell certain places when they're taking care of their beer. You can taste it as a customer, and when you actually do and you take care of your beer here, sometimes I'll go out to other little bars and stuff, and I'll try the same beer, and I know that they're not taking care of the lines, and I know they're not taking care of the beer because it tastes like crap. It's like, what happened? This is the same beer that I'm selling. And it's like, what is this? This is awful. I remember there was this one time a buddy of mine was here. He was having a couple of blonde beers, right? 23 blonde. And he's like, oh, this is really good. And then we were closing up. I'm like, oh, let's go. We're going to go, elsewhere or whatever. And I think we went downtown or something. And I was like, oh, this place has it on tap too. So, okay. So we grabbed a couple there and then we had them. And I'm like, this is going to be even better on tap. And so I'm like, smell that. It's going to be delicious, right? And he smelled it and he's just like, it smells like fart. And I was like, what? And I grabbed it and I was like, oh my God, what happened? So I had a little bit and then we actually had to send it back. And this place told us, hey, you know what? I'll give you another one. So they gave us new ones but it was the same keg. So it was the same flavor, right? And so we had to switch it to something else. And they told us, hey, you know what? Everybody else, they don't mind. So, it's our problem apparently. But I mean, everybody else was drunk, like super shit faced. And they're just like, just when you're super drunk, it doesn't matter what it is, right? You're like, eh. But yeah, we're just like, wow, it's amazing how you really have to trust the location to take care of your beer, because you can go somewhere, try that beer for the first time. It tastes awful. And then you're going to be like right off that whole brand because it's awful.
Yeah. And that's another good point. It's a very tricky thing. So obviously you want more customers.
Yeah, of course.
They'll never end. We would just like to keep growing that way. But it's like you're saying, when you're knowing for sure that as a smaller company, that a lot of time when we get a newer customer or like even some of our older customers, people going to their shops is sometimes going to be their first experience with our product.
Exactly. So yeah.
We've been very lucky that all the people that are representing us right now are personal relationships and obviously have our best interest in mind. And that they're trying their best to make sure that we have our product is represented as best as it could so far. But at some point, we're going to have total strangers selling our stuff, which is a good scenario to have. And then it was kind of
sure.
Then it's just you're kind of relying on that person also caring when they don't not have any reason to really care about what's happening with our product in their store. Maybe the kegs are sitting out warm for a couple weeks before they get tapped. Who knows? And we'll try to avoid those situations as much as we can. And then we're switching over to a lot more bottling as well now because it's
bottle's easier for everybody, right? Like any coffee shop. Like I remember when craft beer a few years ago was exploding and everybody and the grandma had craft beer, I would go to like barber shops and they're like, hey, we got a fridge of craft beer. And you're like, what? It's just like all these random places. There was craft beer everywhere with bottles, you know? And I remember a friend of mine, she had a restaurant, which is gone now, unfortunately. But she's like a super chef. Place was fantastic. And then everybody's like, you have to have craft beer. You have to have craft beer. And she wasn't a beer drinker. So she, you know, whoever just went there and sold her the craft beer, she'd be like, yeah, she bought it. And she had fantastic food. But actually, her beer fridge was probably the worst selection of craft beer. And I'm not like a snob or picky or anything, but it was just, I mean, I think the wrong person came and presented to her. And I'm like, how's your craft beer selling? And she's just like, I haven't sold any. It's been sitting there forever. I'm like, your food is amazing, but you know, you gotta do a little bit of research. It's like me with wine. I mean, I know nothing about wine. We do sell it. It doesn't sell that well because I don't know that much about it. And I don't think it pairs that well with Mexican food. I mean, sometimes we do sell bottles and people sit here and they'll have a bottle with dinner with their family. But for us, I mean, like nachos and red wine, it's not really, you know what I mean? Like it's,
well, I
it's
think
a weird thing. Yeah.
you're not giving your food enough
Yeah.
credit, but yeah, a lot of people think maybe pizza and wine go together really well too, but we don't sell that much wine either. We sell lots of beer, no problem.
Yeah.
But I also don't know very much about wine, and I wouldn't even try to pretend to anybody that I do. So maybe that's, since our personalities are that way, that it just doesn't, what we like, we sell more of, I guess, you know?
Yeah, I think so. That's why I think that the kombucha is going to be something big here because a lot of people in this area, they know about it. Some people make their own, but there's making your own and then there's like buying it there, you know, ready to go. That's a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah, what we're trying to do is professionally produced as we can, so that it really feels to the end consumer that it's a professionally produced product. And I'm glad I'm able to use my brewing knowledge to up that level of it, because it's tough. I mean, it's all people know of really of kombucha in Taiwan that until recently. Now it's become much more prevalent. But it was just like homemade stuff, you know, like
homebrew, like the homebrew style. Yeah.
So we're working towards making sure that we have a reliable, consistent, enjoyable, quality product, and we'll see where it goes with that, because that was a new thing that happened because of COVID. You know, all of a sudden our beer sales plummeted, but the kombucha sales skyrocketed. Basically, people were like, "Oh, well, that's a healthy drink." We made some promotions. We said if you spend $500 in our shops, we'll give you kombuchas, and we just ran through hundreds and hundreds of bottles, and we got a lot of those people that got, I wouldn't say hooked, but they wanted again. And then after having a few times, it's just something that they'll order pretty reliably now.
It's rare that you find a drink like that that's fizzy and tang and good, but it's actually healthy. Because usually when you have like I don't really like that much. I don't drink soda. I don't like it that much. But if I go to like Costco or something and we're going to get like a hot dog at the food court, I'll have like a big old Mountain Dew. And that's probably got more than, you know, like a half liter of Mountain Dew is probably got like half sugar. Like half of that's probably sugar. But
I have
on those occasions, I do that for sure. But I know it's killing me. I'm like, okay, I can only do this, you know, whenever I come here, once a month, once every few months. I can't do that every day.
Yeah, when my son has a soda, that's usually where it is too. The hot dog purchase at Costco, he can get a glass filled entirely with ice, all the way to the brim with ice. Then he puts Sprite in there or something. He can drink half of it.
I love it.
And, you know, that's not even the big thing. He wants that hot dog, but
the hot dog's great. Yeah. Shout out to Costco hot dogs, man. Yeah.
I've had plenty of those, and that's probably something I should cut back on. But my son's drinking the kombucha quite a bit. I don't feel. I think it's fine for a kid to drink, really.
My daughter loves it as well. Yeah.
It's got much lower sugar. I knew the numbers. I don't have it in my head right now, but it's got just a fraction of the sugar that a soda would have. And it's pure sugar anyway, though, so it's not
sucrose or whatever. Yeah. But and you were saying like I don't know the process, but the yeast or the SCOBY or something that kind of like eats at the sugar or something like that, right? So it's like a different thing, completely, kind of.
Yep. Okay. It actually, so you start with a certain amount of sugar, and the majority of it actually gets eaten up. Then the sweetness that comes later is the second addition during the fruit phase, when you add so that's the residual sugar you'll taste is mostly from the fruit that's added later. So it's actually an even better sugar. It's sugar straight from fruit.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, man. I want to talk really quick about the Shack, the original, the OG that started it all, right? So we were talking about COVID, and we're talking about it affecting sales, and we always talk about the COVID and stuff. So how has it been? Like, I think it's been about 3 months now, right? Maybe over 3 months. What do you think? COVID? Maybe May, early May, June, July.
I would say actually since last January, since COVID was first mentioned, is when I felt like it actually affected our businesses.
Okay.
If you remember last January, right around Chinese New Year last year, the rumblings of COVID were beginning.
And yes, then, of course, I remember that. Yeah.
And then I don't remember how many months afterwards, it was all these discussions about limiting gatherings and
yes, that was
not
awful.
Having certain amounts of people congregating together. And then when people started advertising their events and stuff, there was lots of backlash from citizens, and that's when I really felt like the first our business was affected negatively was already over a year ago. Because we had opened a new spot then that was basically primed to have events every week, some kind of event.
Gotta do it.
A barbecue or a band,
For sure. Yeah.
And we couldn't do any of it. We had one event, and it was right at St. Patrick's Day, the week before, because we didn't really want to be like a bar, so we just did a daytime event the week before.
Bar is tough. Bar is tough for sure. Yeah.
And it was great. And then right after that is when the COVID restrictions started happening with the events. And that's why, if you remember last summer, they had that big music festival. I can't remember the name anymore. And we were actually bidding to be part of it. But
I know which one you're talking about, but I don't remember the name. Yeah.
And it was worldwide news because the rest of the world was shut down, and we were still able to have a huge party. But it was huge. It was a lot of work for the government to still be able to host or allow somebody to put on an event of that size.
Yeah.
And but then immediately afterwards, they went right back to the restrictions. And last year's Dragon Boat stuff was all canceled. And lots of stuff that we usually get involved in was just all postponed or canceled.
Yeah.
And that's all part of our business. That's part of our community.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. And one of our shops is right in front of where the Dragon Boat practice areas is.
That place is beautiful, man. I love that. I love that shop. Yeah.
And that's where a lot of our community is, our friends and our and that stuff was just stopped. Like you couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So I would say from then till now, but then of course these last 2.5-3 months or whatever have just been ridiculous.
Brutal.
Anybody that's able to hang on at this point, kudos to everybody. And then the people that had to throw it in, I understand, because it's actually more bother than it's worth, even if the numbers are looking good.
Yeah.
Because it's just so much more hard work now behind the scenes. Yeah. Even if you have higher sales, it's everything's going in a package. You have no interactions with your customers anymore. I think we can agree that one of the reasons we find this rewarding is that we've had so many relationships with our customers, and we've seen people come and go happy, and we can feel proud about the business that we've created, where people can come in and have their families and eat and leave. It's not just a place that people are picking up a lunchbox. You have a place that people are going to have a good time. We also feel like we have a place like that, and that's all gone.
For sure. Yeah.
That's gone. Like I have no idea who's eating the food anymore.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that all the orders are still coming in, but. I imagine a lot of the old customers are still the ones buying it, but we have tons of new customers based on what Uber tells us, and then from our interactions online with the ads we play sometimes, there's a lot of new customers, and we're thankful for that too. We still know repeat people.
Yeah,
and
I think the personal touch is what's kind of missing, right? I know that we both agree. You were just mentioning that the personal touch, like for us. I mean, I grew from a really stand and a really small restaurant to like a medium-ish size restaurant to this one. And this one is kind of like my ultimate, we show sports, and we do karaoke, and we'll have live music, and we do UFCs, and we would be doing Olympics and Euro Cup. We do the Super Bowl. We have private parties, like everything here. Like it's crazy. Halloween in this area is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So it's fantastic. And though our cost is very high to run this place, when everything's open, it's actually not a problem. It's not a problem to get everybody coming in, having a good time. You come in, you chat with people. People are having beers, people are having whatever, having a great time. And then so when you take all of that away, when people get their food to go, no one, I mean, very few people are buying any drinks. Very few people are buying, unless you combo everything up. People will be like, oh, I'll just take my tacos and then I'll just grab a Coke from 7-Eleven or something like that, right? So for us, we've felt like from day one of like the no dine-in, about 50% gone right off the bat. Then we implemented our online ordering system, which is really good, and it's helped us a lot. But it still cannot replace 50% dine-in, because when people come in for dine-in, for example, here's your online ordering system. You look at it, you get your dinner, maybe you get a drink, maybe you get a dessert, not likely. You take it home, you eat, everything's good. But when you come in, you sit down, you look at the menu, you look up at the tap beer wall, you're like, oh, I'll have a beer. Oh, you know what? Oh, that dessert over there that the guy's having, that looks great. I'll have one of those. Oh, you know what? They got these big bowl margaritas. Let's try one of those. So it's very different for sure.
Yeah, and you also have good staff too. That I'm
Yeah.
sure you've taught them to also, when somebody's ordering and stuff, suggest
For
something
sure.
or upsell something or ask if somebody. All that's gone too. So you have no chance to. Not that. Of course, it is a business. We need to make money. So obviously, you try to increase the ticket.
You have to, of course. Yeah.
But part of that should be fun, and people are willingly coming in to spend their money. So asking them to spend more is never a bad thing. Is what we try to teach our staff. Don't
for sure.
Don't be nervous to ask a customer to spend more money. They already came here. They're in the shop. They're enjoying themselves, hopefully, and to ask them to purchase something more or add on to their meal to make a better night for everybody is that's all gone too.
Well, you guys have great dessert as well. You have really good cakes, right? When we went out there to eat, we had a couple of beers and you had some really good cakes as well. So you guys are doing those yourself, I guess?
Yeah, we've been doing that for a while. One of my friends has spent some time teaching the staff how to make things. I can bake, I think, quite well, but I'm not the best at making things look really pretty. And one of my friends was really good at kind of teaching the basics of that stuff, how to make things look more professional. Because I actually started out baking, and that's how
Oh, wow.
done.
Okay.
You're saying you had your stall, and I had a stall before, but prior to that, I actually sold baked goods out of the trunk of my car with my wife.
Oh, I love it. I love that.
I remember thinking that was really fun because the Taiwanese were so fun to sell to, because they would stop and talk, and I got to practice my Chinese when I was learning it.
Of course, yeah.
Still learning it. But my go-to line became when they asked what I was doing while I was doing this. I always say, because I was saving money to get married to my girlfriend.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she's Taiwanese. Okay, yeah.
But it was true though. I really was.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I was trying to say, but if I actually told people that like immediately made them spend more money.
Of course, that's great. That you got to do it. I mean, people always tell me that too. Yeah, keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a really fun way to get my experience selling to the Taiwanese crowd. And then we moved back to the States for a while, and I got back into the food and beverage industry to see if I really had the love for it, because we knew if we were going to come back to Taiwan later that I would open a restaurant and not to do what some of the other businesses that we were involved in America. We're just going to come and do a full-on restaurant and see if that lifestyle worked for us, and it has.
How's it going? It's going all right?
Yeah, we had gotten our life, I think, like you had gotten right to the point where everything was running pretty good.
Yeah.
Life work was probably at a good balance, your time with your family and all that. Now, obviously, we're probably overworking ourselves, making sure our businesses stay healthy, or as healthy as they can be.
Yeah.
And
but your businesses piggyback off each other, right? Which is great, because you can be like, hey, you know what? Spend $2,000, and get a 6-pack of kombucha or something. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that's always really good. Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty symbiotic. Yeah. And we actually even earlier in this situation actually tried to even work with some of our friends and get an aquaponics farm going, because that's also part of what we had thought maybe would work for our business plan, to have direct access to fresh grown organic vegetables. And
that's
that
beautiful.
Didn't pan out in the timeline we needed it to happen in, but hopefully it can still happen and be part of what's going on with our business in the future. It's just all food. Everything that you can consume is the stuff I'm interested in. Food and drink.
Yeah, and food and drink, though it's the most work, it's never going to go out of style, right? I mean, people always got to eat, and in Taiwan especially, I think people eat out more. I mean, I've lived in Mexico, Taiwan, and Canada, obviously. And I think here, people eat out a lot, which is fantastic. I think people can eat out almost every meal. Like a lot of places that I used to live at, there was no kitchen, and people were like, "Yeah, there's no kitchen because nobody cooks." Right? It's
Yeah.
Taiwan; everyone eats out every meal, so it's a good place to be if you're doing food and beverage. I think.
If that's ever going to change, I think it's changing right now with this COVID restrictions. I'm sure a lot of people are trying out some recipes at home lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife
Yeah.
has cooked more in this last 3 months probably than the last 3 years, I'd say. So
Yeah, well, that's the same here. I mean, there's one thing cooking here, but then the other thing is cooking at home. And here we've got all the tools, we've got all the equipment, we're rolling, no problem. But at home, like it's funny because the place looks really nice. Everything here is great. Everything's matching. But at home, our plates and cups, they're all like mixed and matched sets. Like some of our forks are from our first restaurant in Danshui. Like it's pretty bad. So if we were ever to have anybody over,
the stuff
it's crazy.
the stuff we use personally is a huge hodgepodge. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
My glasses, I don't know if I even have two of the same.
Yeah. Oh, we definitely don't. We definitely don't. Yeah. Yeah. We usually use the cracked beer glasses that are still good, but we don't want to throw them away. We're like, it's still good. It's still got some light in them. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But,
Well, like, we could use those. We could use those for a little bit longer. Eventually we chuck them. Yeah. But brother, so what do you think? You got any plans? I mean, I'm hoping next Tuesday, right? We're able to.
I wrote that on my hand to make sure that I picked that up.
So Tuesday, let's talk about what's happening next Tuesday.
We're going to put up our promotion today, and we'll actually pay for a Facebook ad to make sure that, I guess the algorithms are that
Beautiful.
if you like a restaurant, you don't actually see their ads for sure unless you.
About 1% organic. Yeah, it's pretty shit. Yeah.
So we want to make sure the people that actually want to see the ad see it. So we're going to advertise by tonight. I'll make up some beautiful plate of tacos and some fresh tortilla chips. And we'll have a Taco Tuesday starting with
I love it.
On Tuesday. And it's courtcy of your tortillas.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. Yeah, hey, if you tag me, I'll share it, man. Let me know. I'll share it out too. I mean, because obviously our places are really far apart and we're promoting each other. So let me know. I'll share it because, I don't know what's going on for tacos down in that area, but more tacos, the better, right?
Yeah, I think there's a couple places open, but it's not there's nothing approaching your level, what you got. And you're so far away that we go out there when we can, but.
It's far. Oh, no worries. I mean, we try to go there and we don't even have a car. So we got to MRT it all the way down. And though it's a fun day trip right now, it's not a good thing to do the MRT. Yeah.
Well, I'm excited about this because Tuesdays used to be our day off. For our old shop, the OG shop, the thing that we used to do was open only for night service 6 days a week, and Tuesday was off. And then the first time we changed the schedule on that, it was people asked us, please open earlier on Saturday and Sunday. We don't want to always have to just go there for dinner, or we want to come. So we started opening, and that was because I was working every hour that we were open, every minute I was there. Yeah. So I was reluctant to change my schedule.
I remember the days for sure, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, we broke down and we started opening on Saturday and Sunday all day long. So those turned into like 12, 15-hour days sometimes.
I know those too.
With changing locations and getting more staff and having such reliable people stay with us, we were able to increase our hours. And now all our shops are open 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, basically. Okay. And now, since we made a decision with the original shop to be open all those days, Tuesday still used to be our day off, and my son expects that to be my day off. But so if I'm going to be at work, I want it to feel like a different thing I'm doing. So it's very easy for me to, as an American, I don't know if Taco Tuesday is a worldwide thing, but I know in America we definitely refer to Tuesdays as the Taco Tuesday. I don't know.
In Canada, I mean, like I said, I've been here so my family's Mexican, so we eat Mexican almost every day. There wasn't any Mexican restaurants where we lived, and also I've been here for like 20 years, but definitely I know that Taco Tuesday is also a thing in Canada. So I think in Tianmu, we've actually made it to where, it's actually a thing here too. So Tuesdays get crazy, man. I mean, it's a good thing, man. You can pack it out on a Taco Tuesday for sure.
Well, we can't pack it out yet, but we're gonna just try to get it out.
Yeah, well,
we'll have it available on Uber and pickup, and maybe even have a chance to work out some delivery on our own for our own service. But,
yeah, you should do that.
Yeah, so I'll be out on Monday, pick up some more tortilla shells from you, and I'll work on the recipes for that. But I'm just gonna do a very simple beef puffy taco, like a San Antonio style.
Do it.
That's
Yeah,
the kind
fantastic.
I grew up with. I enjoy those. It's at that point, the way we're gonna make it is I wouldn't say it's
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, dude. Yeah.
It's very tasty. And
it doesn't matter if it's authentic, man. It doesn't matter. You know what? Let me tell you a quick thing about authenticity. So we took that out of all of our branding, all of our everything, because first of all, everyone has a different idea of authentic, right? Like for you, that's authentic. The San Antonio tacos. For me, the authentic is like the Mexican sort of street tacos. But growing up, everyone's got like Mexico is different food. I mean, some people eat Taco Bell. That's authentic for them. Okay, no problem. So we actually removed authentic from everything because if somebody comes in here, sees the word authentic, and what they get is not authentic to them, we get blasted. Like they're like, oh, this is bullshit, you know? So we actually removed authentic from everything years ago. I don't know if it's been maybe 10 years, but I would say between 5 and 8 years ago, we removed authentic, right? And one other quick story, enchiladas, corn tortillas, right? With your enchilada sauce, you fry them, you fill them, and then you bake them, whatever, right? So we couldn't do corn for the first few years we were here because there was no corn flour. We didn't know how to do the grinding corn at the time. We couldn't do anything. So that's it. There's no corn. People kept asking for enchiladas. They kept asking for enchiladas. And we're like, we can't do enchiladas because we only do flour tortillas. We're hand making our flour ones. We don't have corn. And they're like, oh, just use the flour. I'm like, no, that's blasphemy. You can't use flour. Okay, another year goes by. You got to do enchiladas. So many people asked for it. I said, you know what? Okay, I'm just going to use my flour tortillas. I'm going to make enchiladas the exact same way, except I'm going to change the corn tortilla for our flour tortillas. Okay, made them, put them on the menu. It's our best seller for over a decade. But about 3 or 4 years after that, we were able to get the corn flour. So we got the corn flour, and then we're like, oh my God, Taiwanese people love corn. Everybody loves corn. I'm going to take the flour. I'm going to switch it to corn. I'm going to be rich. What happens? Our sales go all the way down, man. Everybody who loved our enchiladas were like, what the hell happened to the enchiladas? They're not good anymore. And I'm like, why? That's actually the way it's supposed to be. I changed the flour to the corn. And they're like, no. So then we switched it back to the flour. Sales went back up. It's one of our top sellers to this day, our enchiladas with flour tortillas. You can get it with corn. You just have to ask. But by default, we do flour. It's one of our best sellers. And I don't know anywhere else that does flour enchiladas. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. You got to do what you got to do.
Well, yeah, just putting out good food regardless. That's what it is,
the enchilada story.
To make sure you're using good stuff and put out good stuff that you can be proud of. So.
For sure. I mean, we're making everything in house and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, you guys are too. So I think that's the way to do it. And I think people will always come back to that good kind of comfort food, soul food, but healthy as well. So we try to make it healthy. And yeah, I think we're doing like right now. Hopefully we can open up on a Tuesday. I mean, we even 50%, even 30% capacity is better than what's going on right now. Yeah. So hopefully we can do it, man, on Tuesday.
Yeah. I also hope so too, but I don't even know. I don't know if our staff is going to be ready for that. I think I don't know.
It's going to be tough.
Uncertainty. Yeah. So.
It's going to be tough for the staff because they've been kind of like coasting for 3 months, right? I mean, even though it can be busy and rush hours and stuff, it's still never going to be as busy as when your place is packed and then you got to goes. So it's for me anyway, maybe for you, but for me, it's never been that busy. Like it's stable, it's steady, but it's not like when 50 people walk in at the same time. Plus you got Uber, plus you got pickups, pre-orders, all that stuff. It's not, once it gets back to that, yeah, we're going to be hustling again. So we got to enjoy the downtime. I think it's all we can do. Yeah.
The franticness is definitely gone. Of the, usually when we have, we've been open for over 7 years since we came to Taiwan.
Yeah.
And the first thing in hiring that we tell people is you can try this
get
job.
Crazy.
Yeah, you can try this job, and if you don't like it, there's gonna be no hard feelings. You can just leave. It's okay. But also, on the other hand, is if we see that you can't handle it, because like it can just get crazy in 10 minutes. Like each hour is totally different. And if we see that, we'll bring it up, and maybe you might not be suited for a job like this. And I understand that sometimes the pay isn't worth it for somebody to work in a hard job that can be this hard. Yeah. There's just some people that enjoy that feeling. They like being on the balls of the feet. They like being challenged and feeling like they're actually doing something when they're at work. And a place like a restaurant, especially your place, is so big that when you can get busy, I imagine it gets pretty nuts.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. It was a pretty big. It's always an adjustment from stand to 10-seat restaurant, from 10-seat restaurant to like 20-seat restaurant, and then from 20 seats to like, I mean, we can seat, I think when we're packed 70, 80 people. Like it's actually too much. It's too big, but it's here now. So if we were ever, which we do plan on doing more, we won't do it this big. This is our nice big one. Yeah. In Tianmu, this is gonna be our flagship. You know, if you want to go the full experience and your TVs and your karaoke, this is the place. But if we do more, we're definitely small. I think small is good. Yeah.
I didn't realize you only had 70, 80 capacity. You give your customers quite a bit of space then, because we've actually crammed in those numbers into both of our shops before.
There you go.
And,
yeah.
I mean, it's not comfortable though, but it's because they're all like, we've had groups of, simultaneous have groups of 30 or more in one of the shops. And we gave the one group inside and one group outside.
Yeah.
But the Taiwanese are really willing to, they're
we can do more. We have extra fold up tables and a little storage thing in the door here, so we can. I mean, we're not going to turn people away, but like on the average, we're trying to keep it where people can kind of like, hey, sit around, chill a bit. Yeah, we try, bro. We try. But as for now, it's definitely tough. We're all feeling it. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, bro, I really want to thank you for coming out. I mean, we should do this more often. I think things that me and you chatting is always good. It's always good stuff, bro.
For sure. And I really am looking forward to Tuesday. I want to see how that goes. I'm going to put up an ad tonight, and then hopefully people will see that we're going to try to make it maybe bi-weekly. I don't know. I don't know if every week is sustainable. I don't really know. I don't know what the market for it is here, but I want to eat that food.
Yeah. I think it's great, man. I think it's going to be great. Yeah.
And we'll just do it out of one shop to begin with, and then expand to the other shop, and then see how it goes. But,
let me know how I can help. I'd also, when all this craziness is sorted and we can get out of here on a Tuesday, I'd love to come down and once in a while I'll just bring a bunch of like corn tortillas and I'll just press them out there and just for fun, we'll do something different. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be fun.
I'll take that on that.
We'll definitely do that because we'll go out. My daughter can have some pizza, hang out with your boy. We'll just start flipping tortillas, and it'll be fun, man. Be great.
All right. Yeah.
Right on, bro. Just got to give me the kombucha. Give me that kombucha. That's it. I will work for kombucha.
I said, I'm going to have to find a way to compensate you on the kombucha because you're such a good promoter for me. It's
good really stuff. I love it. Yeah. We're going to do kegs of it soon, hopefully, right? After all this craziness is over, bro. Yeah, we'll hook up. Maybe we'll do another show. Yeah.
Working on my kegerator building skills right now. I got some real small fridges to see if I can build a decent kegerator for it.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it.
Get it done.
I love it, bro. Yeah. Brother, thank you so much. We talked. It's been an hour and 15 minutes almost, man. I mean, time flies when you're doing these. It's just chatting with your boys, man. I love it. It's good stuff.
I had a little computer malfunction.
Oh, bro, it's all good. It's all good. Thanks for having me. That was episode number 95. It's 95 weeks in a row, bro. That's nuts. Madness.
Yeah, congratulations, Eddie.
Thanks, bro. We'll do it soon. We'll do it again soon, and maybe we can go out to the fish market soon as well.
Oh, I'll take it. Maybe tomorrow night. We'll see.
Okay.
If you really
Let me know. That sounds good because we should be able to sneak out. Yeah. Right on, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for watching. If you guys like the show, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're watching it on Facebook, jump over to the YouTube, subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify, anything like that, if you could jump over to the YouTube, subscribe, that'd be fantastic. Thank you to Jay Tyler, entrepreneur. I appreciate it, brother.
All right. Thanks, Eddie. You have a good rest of the night.
Sounds good, man. Take it easy, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.